Absolutely snitch.
I saw it on the TV. You know, and I was like, why you know, but I'm not gonna get into that. If he did have that,
Oh, it's not Andrew.
like yo, Benji, day what? That was
All
Look at
right,
my old boss.
fresh memory, self-proclaimed.
No, the way you sent it is not. Let me see. Maybe so you're on TV. You're on P.
Wait, did you put it live?
We live right now. We've been live 46 seconds.
This is silence. How's it going, everybody?
Boom. I'm Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. Who's this next to me? Who's this fine specimen of a human?
I'm Ulrich. Always nice to see you all.
And then over to the right, in the far regions,
Daniel B.
Daniel B. And we're not going to be playing what's on the television now and talking about that. I do not discuss this man any longer. I spent too many years discussing this man at barbershops.
Serious?
Yes, I do not. I mean, if you have something you wanted to discuss, we will, of course.
The dame that can't be named.
The dame that can't be named, the chatty patty, the guy who has revolutionized talking with marbles in your mouth. It's all bullshit. Stop it.
No, he's a genius.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, he suffers from genius syndrome.
Oh, you need to airdrop it to me. It's
Gotcha.
not popping up.
All right, so we're trying to get this video sent for the topic we're going to discuss, and we're having a little trouble with technology as far as airdropping as compared to
Just go to
texting.
YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel.
Okay,
Go to YouTube.
it was on
World Star.
Okay.
And I think it's a really good topic. It's something to discuss, you know, because the gentlemen here, they don't really know what's going on as far as, you know, I've seen the topic. And I took a screenshot of the topic and said, we should talk about this on Premium Black News. And then, of course, we have all the Jay Morrison drama. But these guys are not YouTube guys. They might not know anything about the Jay Morrison drama.
never heard of a J.
They don't know
Morrison.
about the pocket watcher with JT and the what's going on with him 500 and Alton. What's the other guy? There's a lot going on in these YouTube streets that I don't know, man. I just wasn't ready to go into it. It's like so much going on in the YouTube streets, but we got two guys here that they really ain't in the YouTube streets. I've brought them in to the YouTube streets. And my week is always so busy that I am concentrating on opening up my second dispensary. Putting a lot of energy into that. So it was very difficult for me to come over here and get that done. Hey, what? What's that? Richard Emmanuel said?
She went, hey boo, at Elvis, at Ulrich, and at Daniel B. How you doing, Richard?
He's
Thank you for
calling me. He's telling
You
me.
may have to show it off.
He's saying purr. All right, we're gonna just do it off of Ulrich's phone.
Sure.
Yeah. Where's your
All
other?
right, that-
Where's your other new chair at? Only got one here.
Yeah,
How was your week, Ulrich?
it was not too shabby. It was not too crazy. I'm a little trouble finding so you want to search it up for me. But my week's been pretty good.
I sent you a picture of it. You know the name of the title, right?
Yeah, but tagging
Alright.
in doesn't help it. Nah.
Yeah. I'll find it.
All right, so no, nothing interesting has been happening in my week so far. Or
Nothing interesting in your week.
I guess nothing of note that I'd like to discuss.
Nothing you want to discuss.
Nah.
Okay. I'm with you, man. You know, today this has just been a crazy week for me. As far as like timing, every time I turn around, there's just nothing. There's no time. And then, you know, when you're morbidly obese, man, your energy level is very low. It's hard. It sucks. snap out of it. Okay, I don't know what happened, but it doesn't want to go any longer than.
Oh, oh,
You did have it though, right?
no, you got to send a picture over.
All right. If we go to, oh, you have the WorldStar app. You've
Yeah,
changed
remember?
on
No,
us.
I had that. Remember?
That's what's up, yo. I appreciate that. Bear with us. Come on, Daniel. Tell us about your week.
My week was amazing.
Also, it's weird. I'm just naturally taller than you guys.
Yeah, Daniel, you got to turn your chair. Raise it up. Daniel has the cool chairs that spin up. They spin up and they spin down.
Pass you another one, actually, please.
Did you hear about the Blueface and the Christian Rock? That
Blueface
Blueface,
and the Christian Rock. No,
he
I haven't.
breaks up with the girlfriend, and then he does a video with all pregnant girls.
Open if you
Oh,
want.
thank you.
Did
And
you
then you gotta
hear?
rush to finish the other one. Or
I'm so gonna. But I do know who Blueface is. I thought you said Blueface and something happened with Christian Rock.
No,
He was
Chris.
crossing over,
Chris.
but
Yeah, Chris.
yeah, Christian. Did it's the girl with the missing tooth?
Correct.
Yeah.
Who's pregnant by him?
Oh, okay. She's going through with it.
Yes, she's going through it. She's having his child.
Mm.
Allegedly, he don't even know if it's his baby.
And they broke up. Why?
I don't know that detail.
Oh, I thought that's what she started it with. But so the news is that they're pregnant.
No, what's going on is that Blueface said that he has another child, and he brought that woman on like his live or whatever. He's like telling her, listen, when she loses the baby, I'm gonna leave the baby with you. You're gonna raise this baby because he already has it where she's losing her baby. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm confused by that
Yeah.
statement. Wait. So
Maybe this is premium black news.
so she.
Oh.
Actually, no. That worked out great.
It is good.
So she's assuming that Christian Rock is going to lose the baby.
He is.
She's assuming he's going to lose the baby, and once that happens, he's going to stay with that other woman who he already has a baby by.
No, he's not staying with any woman. He's a serial
Philander.
yes, exactly. Matter of fact, let's play it. Let's talk about it.
All right, we didn't expect you see it. Premium Black News. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah. If we together.
You think I'm gonna watch y'all's child? No, I'm being serious now. You think I'm gonna watch your fuck this internet shit. You think I'm gonna watch? You think no. Swear to God on everything I love. You think I'm gonna watch y'all's child?
I think if she fucks up and they say you're not physically fit to watch a child, it's either adoption or I take the child.
Adoption.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Why would you ever give it to me?
Because it's a free child that you have to push out and fuck up your body for. That's why.
Why would I ask for extra?
Because I said so. Because I want 10 kids.
All right.
It's unexpected, but it's noteworthy.
I think it's interesting that he just, in his mind, he knows. Can we turn that off in the back? He knows that this woman is gonna lose this baby.
No. Okay, so what it sounded to me was he assumed, he said with the potential, if potentially like she's unfit to raise it
Right.
or something like that, then he could. I don't think she. Yeah, I don't think he's. I don't even think he's saying it because he thinks she's gonna actually lose a baby. I think he's playing some hypothetical game with Chris Rock to almost mess with her emotions. So, because
He's gaslighting her.
yeah, because now I'm not that familiar with topical internet celebrities, but this situation I do know about. I am versed somewhat in this. I know they beat each other up a lot of times.
Right. You know about this, Daniel?
Yeah.
Blueface and his relationship?
I'm never concerned with that.
do you know about it? I'm not
No.
concerned about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
yeah.
No, no, no.
I'm not
Yeah.
concerned about it
I
either.
just-
I'm not
I
checking
don't-
no tweets and none of that. I'm not.
I don't
No.
engage in abuse and just the fighting, and to me that's just not that's a relationship I'm not trying to be a part of.
Wait, time out. Did you ever watch Flavor of Love?
No,
I watched Flavor of Love. You didn't watch Flavor of
no,
Love?
no.
Why not? Yo, what's going on with this chain? Is this a new thing?
Yeah, it's a new thing.
I like it. I've been wanting to get a chain too. Is it we hitting this age? Is that what it is?
It's like, I got a little small one that I've had forever, but it was just like boom, I seen a little nice one. It's just
Can you pull it out? Let me see what it looks like.
Could be a secret. Could have a secret message.
Ooh. And what is that? What's the inches on that?
23.
That's 23 inch.
Yeah.
And then what is the what is the
Don't
weight?
start me. I have no idea. I never.
You don't know the weight.
Yeah, never did the weight or anything like that. I just thought it was nice, and that's it.
So you thought it was nice, you saw it, and then you just said, "Let me get it."
Mm-hmm.
Put that. You do. What did you do? You swiped for it or you cashed for it?
No, I do I do Apple Pay.
Oh, Apple Pay. Apple Pay.
So you just
So you
It's
can
another
buy
version of
gold with Apple Pay.
yes.
You can buy anything.
See, the one that I want to get, it's a kilo. The big one. I want to get the big one where it's like looks ridiculous. Like I'm gonna be nervous to like go to certain neighborhoods and stuff. I don't want they might kill me. That's how big I want it to be.
Yeah, I never understood necklaces, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you call it a chain to
A chain.
That they call it a chain to.
Yeah, you call it
It's
a
a
necklace.
necklace. That's what it is. That's what
a necklace,
yeah.
It's a necklace. But you chain sounds a lot better. It's just.
So you say that Daniel's not wearing a chain. he's
I'm
wearing a
saying
necklace.
anybody. It's not even indicative of Daniel. Anybody's wearing a necklace. It's no disrespect.
How you open that? So it looks good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I've been wanting to get one, but I'm joking when I say I want to get the kilo. I don't want to get the big kilo because where you gonna go with a kilo? And then I think they starting at like 40,000.
Which is absurd.
Come on! I need the
What
phone.
do we do? What do
Yeah,
we?
let me just get back on the
The video
World
ended.
Star. Yeah, I know,
Oh, yeah,
but
gotcha.
come on.
All right.
We might be just going through some World Star stuff real quick, giving our opinion.
All right, wait, but we didn't finish. We was that the end of our conversation? Christian Rock.
And yeah, well,
And
it's just
Blueface?
he's gaslighting her. We're just talking about what's right now. Have you guys
You
heard?
can get deeper into anything, no matter how shallow the topic is.
Yeah. You're right. Let me just see if I can.
Well, let me show something that I recently posted.
Yeah, but you gotta come closer, Daniel B, because if I'm doing shorts, so many shorts I couldn't do because you was too far away.
Okay.
Come on, come closer. The Ulrich don't bite. Not no more. At least you never been charged for nothing like that.
Never been charged with biting,
Never been charged. I never been charged with
Right.
biting either.
because I made sure the witnesses kept their mouth shut.
Ooh, gangster talk.
All right. So this is something I posted recently. Let's see if I can get some volume on this.
They yell at each other.
Okay. So this is.
They yell at each other.
Oh, let's
That's
see
the
if I
best
can
thing he's been married for how long?
So
Like a
this
court
is
show.
yeah, it's a court show, and it's Christina's court. Okay, just
You're not interested in Blueface and Christian Rock, but you're interested in Christian
watch
court stuff?
this. This is actually good.
I'm not really that interested in Christian rock. I'm sorry. You wanted to go deeper on this?
No. Sure, no, I was making a joke because earlier you said that's a callback. Earlier you said something about the I don't care about their lives. I was saying,
Yeah,
but
I
this
don't.
even
I hate that.
they're not even people.
No, this gets interesting. Watch.
That's why I'm more interested.
Yeah.
It doesn't have him in it.
Oh, that's true. Ask him he's been married for how long?
Over 20-something years.
Over 20
Look at him though, he look mad. You don't look happy, brother. You don't look happy.
He's very happy.
Richard Minchow, a former
Yeah.
TV show bailiff and current Harris County deputy charged with his wife's murder, now ordered not to attend her funeral. Renard Spivey appeared before a judge today. He's facing very specific rules for his bond.
All in my
People
own
in
house.
love, they yell at each other. Oh, that's true. Ask him he's been married for how long?
Over 20-something years.
Over 20
Look at him though, he look mad. You don't look happy, brother.
Did he call it or not?
I wouldn't say he called it,
he
but
called it.
what happened though? You have any more details?
No. Hey. But you know, I thought we would revisit about the gentleman who died that you went to high school with.
Oh,
Jordan,
Jackson?
Jordan.
Guy. Yeah, what about him? You know some more info?
No, I wanted to get some. I wanted to
Oh,
humanize him.
we talked about
Yeah.
last week. I forgot we talked that you said something like along the lines. This could be a two-parter. And we
Yeah,
could talk
because I
about-
wanted to. I think people, you know what it is. It's you only hearing one version.
Well,
of
never
it.
to you got to ask probing questions in order to go. You got to.
But I mean, it's just like I think he should be humanized. Like you got to actually meet him, and he was well adjusted when when you did meet him. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't always this person that they portrayed him to be.
Yeah. So all right. So just to bring it back from last week. So we were talking about this individual named Jordan, who he got into an altercation with a cop on a train, and he ended up being killed. Right. This was a person who would do impersonations of Michael Jackson, kind of for money around 42nd Street, but he went up and down like the train doors. This person was also somebody who was homeless and had mental illness. But the biggest reason we're talking about it is this person, someone who I went to high school with and who I've hung out with on many different occasions, played basketball with, so on and so forth. So I think Danny was alluding to us wanting to make him more of a real person, not just some crazy or some disturbed individual who got killed by a cop.
Well,
So-
no,
Whoa.
it's not a cop.
Whoa.
It was an ex Marine
Police officer?
that was 20. No police officer.
24-year-old.
Was he a
24-year-old.
police officer?
No, ex Marine, 24 years old.
Who
I don't know
choked
what-
him on the
Yes,
train?
Train.
Oh,
exactly.
because they protect. Okay, because the story was he was like attacking, or he was
Whoa,
intimidating.
whoa.
Okay, he was appearing to be a threat to to another individual, right? Okay, and they intervened with this threat, and the guy ended up just choking him way too much. So it's funny. Out of all the
No,
15 minutes.
not way. Yeah, exactly. Not way too much. He put him in a chokehold and he strangled him.
I just choked him until he died.
Yeah,
fine,
way
we
too
can do
much is a different
semantics.
term.
I'm not saying you're acting like I'm celebrating. I'm the one who knows this person. You're more
I
outraged
know the
than I
guy
am.
too. I know the guy too, but he would never talk. I would always say, "Hi, yo, I like you. I like your Michael Jackson
Yeah, well,
dances."
also- yeah, but-
He was very like standoffish.
All right, so
and-
that's very important that you mention that because the person I knew and the person that was on the train are two very different people.
right.
Because whatever was dormant, mental illness was, or whatever issue he had that was dormant in him when he was younger. Damn, that's incredibly rude. But you're looking down at but the whatever mental illness that he might have had that was dormant in him, it got to the point where he was he was uncommunicative. He would just kind of stare at you with his face. I never saw him get aggressive.
So he never talked.
No, this was afterwards. Because afterwards, remember,
While in high school, he talked.
he was a normal person. He was a normal kid.
Right.
He was a normal kid. Remember when I started to see him on the train, it was after he was homeless. So after we went through high school together and we stopped talking, I went to college.
Did he dance the Michael Jackson dances in high school?
Yes, we knew him for that in high school.
He was
we
like-
knew him for
he
that
was
in high
like-
school.
yeah, and then-
he would always have that. Yeah, and he was actually like a television face. He was a good-looking kid. He had like such a distinctive. He looked like Michael Jackson, like if he stayed black.
Right, yeah. That's what I always got from him too.
Yeah.
But he never spoke, and we would always see him. My kids would see him, and he would never dance out in the streets, only in the trains.
Yeah, he was
He
different
never
than
smoked.
yeah.
And the last time I saw him, he was ordering a sandwich from the store, and I didn't hear him order the sandwich. So maybe they knew what he liked. He bought the sandwich. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he just was like, "Please don't talk to me. I don't talk to people." That was his vibe. And when this thing happened, him getting choked out, the whole thing about a chokehold is that if the person's, can I demonstrate with you?
We can.
I will not.
Black News doing live demonstrations.
Yeah. We're doing a live demonstration. So now we have to lift this up a little bit, just a smidge.
Yeah, whenever we get the
There we go.
capabilities to be more technically advance when a client would say no, Ulrich was not hurt during these tables.
Yeah, Ulrich, nobody.
No, Ulrich was hurt.
Well, we don't know yet. So look, so the way it works on a chokehold is that this forearm is what can kill you. So if I was to grab you by the throat
Oh, so
with the
like,
forearm,
don't, if you
this
choke through, I'm gonna
this
get
is
tired.
illegal in most states. They don't want you choking
Is it-
like this. So what they do is they train officers. You're gonna have to slouch down a little bit. Slouch down. They train that the elbow has to be down here. If I'm choking him like this, then he won't die and he won't even pass out. I can actually control him and talk with him and all that. It's when the choke turns here, like Gardner, like Eric
Yeah,
Gardner.
because it's a tighter. It's
Eric
like a
Gardner
bone.
got killed by crushing his windpipe from the forearm being pushed in.
Yeah.
Whereas the pictures show this man on the train that he did have the elbow down. It was a controlled choke. And they even have video of the guy not being, and they have video of the young man being, how do you lock this? Okay, the other way. So they do have video of this young man also he was still alive after once they let him go. So they're saying that it could be this, it could be that.
So wait, so he wasn't a
Let
cop.
me-
Wait. Let me get. Was he a cop?
No,
Was
he
a
was
police
No,
officer?
not
he was
a
just a
cop.
person
He
who-
was an ex-Marine.
Ex-Marine on the train.
Exactly.
In New York City.
And number two, this young gentleman did nothing physical to anyone.
Right. That day. Nothing physical to anyone that day.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to remember, there's a thing that's called MO, which is your modus operandi. And a lot of people have an MO of responding a certain kind of way in certain situations. So to say that this young man was just not the person who was going to be violent is not necessarily true, because he actually punched someone in the face not so long ago. But a woman he assaulted, or at least was accused of it. So, we know how these people know how to lie. And when I say these people, I'm talking about all the people on the trains in New York City. People lie all the time.
And we don't know that situation, but we know this situation. That's why, even though you bring up the past, it's more about, let's talk about this individual situation.
Yo, you got a little bass in your voice. You're upset.
Yeah, I am, because my thing is, people don't realize most people that are homeless are not homeless by choice. A lot of times, I think the statistics is like 90 or 86% of the people that are homeless or who have a mental illness that's out on the street has something so traumatic happen to them in their homes where they don't feel safe in the house. They don't feel safe in a closed
Well,
environment.
that's a choice then.
No, it's not a choice. It's something that's traumatic that happened to them.
So then they made a choice to do something about that trauma.
No,
Leave the house. That's a choice.
it's a choice because you've been so traumatic.
So
Trauma.
traumatized.
Yeah, it's not a choice.
But
It's a reaction towards
do
trauma.
men live their
Oh,
lives?
a reaction towards trauma is a choice. Reaction towards trauma is still a choice.
Right.
In other words, say I was beat. Say I was a white person and I got beat up by a bunch of white people. If I say I was a white person that was beat up by a bunch of black kids when I was younger. Right.
Right.
So imagine that. Imagine that trauma in the future made me go and beat up black people. I'm a victim technically. I'm a victim of trauma. But did I make a choice and when I back, or was my trauma just made my feet move?
Well, I mean, trauma manifests itself in different ways. My thing is, sometimes you don't even realize it was trauma because your mind changes.
All right, so we should. So maybe Derek Chauvin was hurt, when he was younger.
Possibly.
All right, so then we shouldn't be so
But
angry about it.
no, but we should know that we should understand that he took a job and they allowed him to take a job where that's his job, not to bring out his traumas. I'm talking about you can't use the two. We're talking about a young man that was homeless in the street. You said he was a well-adjusted individual when you knew
He was a
him.
normal kid, yeah.
Exactly. So he was so that means something happened to him along the line. that may have not been a choice. It may have been a mental illness.
Might have been. A
No,
victim.
no, no. There's something. No, there was something literally wrong with him. There was something wrong because
Okay.
he didn't like he cared so little about his grooming. And it's something. It was such a night and day thing.
Then he could have probably had
Yeah,
a
he
mental
had
illness even
of course,
beforehand.
without question, he had a mental. Yeah, he had
But
a
you have to
mental
say that, you have to like.
But why?
No.
Why wasn't he just hit upside his head and he just could never get?
Oh,
up?
that's I agree with that sentiment. I thought Daddy was gonna go. I was gonna go to that. I was gonna go to that point. But Dad, were you gonna finish? Did you finish your thing?
No, finish it.
All right. I'm not. I don't think what happened to him because obviously it was blown up into a racial issue because the races were irrelevant and especially
My
the news
song.
story I ran.
My son came out and he was yelling and screaming. I saw a bunch of that protesting.
Yeah, that's how.
Did
Yeah,
they
of course,
stop
and they got that
protesting
protesting.
already, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was like a week and a half of protesting.
It's the perfect every time. Anyway, but so I
hope they protest for
The
me.
biggest thing.
You hope they protest for you? What?
If something happens to me, I hope somebody makes some noise.
What would it change?
It makes people take. It makes
Yo,
people
this
take.
pillow's making a lot more sense. Pillow.
Because protest actually brings attention to something.
Yeah,
Protest,
the tragedy that you were lost or hurt.
Exactly, but it also makes people. Yeah, it does, but it also makes people realize, you know what? People do care. If no one says anything, that tragedy may continue to happen to other people.
Yeah, but we've seen that's not a true statement because there's been protests about everything under the sun, and there are persistent problems. The problems, I don't want to say problems are systemic because that means you'd overthrow the system, but the problems are bureaucratic, not systemic.
But certain times they do pass. Certain
You're
laws do
against
pass.
overthrowing the system?
Hmm?
You are against overthrowing the system?
Yeah, overthrowing the system means putting in a more oppressive system. Overthrowing the system doesn't mean putting in another system that's better. It just means overthrowing it. It's like when the Siths overthrew the Jedi. They thought they would do. Forget it. Sorry, that was.
No, it's a good analogy. If it's a Star Wars analogy, people love this. Go ahead.
Yeah, so when the Sith, the Jedi were deemed to an extent as kind of oppressors, elitists, and stuff like that, and the Sith, they would preach all the lower, the weaker people. They would talk about a world for everybody, and then now this was talked about in the 2000 first 3 Star Wars, the prequels. And then the first original Star Wars, you see the world is a wasteland. It starts out the world being, there's nothing kind of there, and it all stemmed from the call to action, the call to revolution. But anyway, let me go. So anyway, I said that I digressed to the point I wanted to get to with the guy, the hero, the person who was tough enough to incapacitate somebody, tough enough to kill somebody, but
Wait
was
a
not
minute.
tough enough.
Did you just call the guy a hero that choked?
No, I was being sarcastic.
Oh,
What I'm saying is.
Daniel's gonna get very upset.
No, because I'm not. Daniel's mad because of racial reasons. He doesn't have the right.
No.
Why
I'm a
would
big
they?
supporter
Why
of
would
mental.
then what would a protest be about concerning this issue? What would be the topic of protest for this issue then?
One, it's because this gentleman got a lot of support, like he did something right, that he was an actual hero.
So wait, so you're protesting against?
Hold on. Can I finish? All right. So they're saying that he is a hero. They're saying it pressures the DA. The DA is politics. So if there's no one protesting or saying anything about it, they'll sweep it under the rug. What protests are, from history, is trying to. Go ahead. You raising your hand?
So the problem isn't with the people. The problem is maybe the district attorneys have too much power. If it's one man decides whether someone is going to be charged, that to me sounds like the better story to talk about. Why are district attorneys giving the power to say yes or no and cannot in any way, shape, or form be overturned, not even by the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court can actually overturn a president's pen, but you cannot overturn a district attorney's decision to prosecute or not prosecute.
Well, that's why things are sometimes. Well, the district attorney decides whether they're going to take the case or not. But the grand jury usually decides whether it's even up for. So the grand jury really decides before the district attorney.
But
The
you,
grand jury has to decide whether it's viable to be what.
but you have to see if you even have a grand jury. There's no grand juries for everything. It has to
Yeah,
be,
no, I know,
yes.
yeah, but
Already.
yeah.
Sorry, but the grand jury is ran by the assistant district attorneys are all running the grand jury. So when you're 23 people sitting there,
They don't run the grand juries. The grand juries make the grand jury.
No,
The
the
district attorney
district
can
attorney-
incentivize or de-incentivize them to make a
Exactly.
choice.
the
But
grand
they-
jury is the one that presents it to the grand jury. The district attorney is presenting a case to a
Oh
grand jury.
yeah. So yeah, they ultimately.
The power in that is what my point is. This one man or woman is given the power to bring it forth to this grand jury. And they say that if a district attorney wants you to be indicted for a crime, it's very unlikely that you will not be indicted for a crime. Because the 23 people that are there are all being maneuvered and swayed into decision makings that the district attorney has all this power in.
Yeah, but the lawyer. Yeah, but the person, the lawyer is still present. The district attorney is not the only one speaking is not the only one who presents to a grand jury.
No,
It's not like
but the
that,
district
but-
attorney is the district attorney is the it's in, well, let me just say this. I've been in front of a grand jury before, okay? So I'm speaking out of also experience. So I turn myself in, and when I was in the bar business, and there was a shooting. So I had the videotape of the shooting. Problem is that in this videotape, there's video of me with a weapon in my hand shooting as well. So I go to the district attorney. I say, listen, when the guy came to the bar and he started shooting, I returned fire out in self-defense of the protecting of the bar. So they was like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring you to the grand jury. So I'm gonna need you to turn yourself in, and we're gonna arrest you. And they arrested me. Took no handcuffs. They didn't handcuff me. I just put my hands together when I got in the courtroom, and one of the officers put like a jacket over mine, or maybe a blazer that I had, or whatever. And then they took the cuffs off right before I went to be arraigned. So I put my blazer on, got arraigned, and at arraignment they gave me a return of my own reconnaissance piece of paper, so that I come back within a 7-day period for the indictment charge to see whether or not I'm going to be indicted for the 3 charges that I was given for firing the weapon and this whole kind of thing. And the district attorney was there. Yo, when I left this grand jury, people were hugging me. They were like, sir, you're a hero. You saved everyone in that bar. You're a hero. They were like hugging me in the hallway. This is a fact. So what I'm saying to you is that the district attorney has massive power to sway whatever decision how they want. And I was not indicted on any charges. And the attorney that I had was just a court-appointed attorney who said nothing. I was the only one speaking. They spoke. He could have, of course, objected to any questions, but it was all going the way the district attorney wanted, which was not to charge me. And then they wound up charging the person, because I didn't give up the tape until they found the guy. When they found the guy who did the shooting, it's when they were like, yo, he's saying he was in a shootout.
But it'd only be brought up to a grand jury if they wanted to charge it. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be brought to a grand jury.
Well, they had to bring it to the grand jury to receive that evidence. The evidence that I have, I'm committing what's called a crime. But the way it works is that if you're in a business, in any businesses, it doesn't matter, you're allowed to have a gun in the business here in New York City.
Okay.
So in New York City, the way it works is just that if, let's say, like there's been a lot of barbershops where guys have tried to run into the barbershop, and the guy that works the barbershop, he takes one of them down or 2 of them down. Remember when Londell, from Londell's restaurant, there was a guy, he came in there with the gun, and Londell wrestled him with the gun and let him have it. Bam, took it from him. So you're allowed to, and when you're a business owner, you're allowed to defend your business. So that's what I was under that classification as because the business was an incorporated business. All incorporated businesses in New York has a right. You have a legal right to basically stand your ground as a business owner, and I was looked at as in charge of that business. So I was able to get. I wasn't acquitted. They used that video on the trial for the young man, and he went to jail for a long time. He went to jail.
He was indicted.
He was indicted and
He
then
wasn't
convicted.
But he was also convicted because that gun was used in another incident.
The gun was used in another incident. That's not why he got convicted.
Oh, you
Oh,
can
you
lose
know.
the audience.
Because-
I'm not sure they know what you're talking about.
What we're talking about is Daniel B was there that night when the guy actually Daniel B was the one who said, "Yo, he's coming back and he got a gun on him, and I think he's wearing a vest." That's what Daniel B said. So we was like, we pushed everybody inside, and on camera you can see Daniel B standing there. He say something to us, and then my whole security just rushes 10 people into the bar, and then they show him pull out the gun and bah 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 bah. He's just lighting up the whole front of the bar. So then I run out, boom, and I shot, and
Well,
then
we're not gonna say you just.
no, I'm allowed to say this because this is
Oh,
all
okay.
public record. I shot, and he looked down, and then he goes to reaching, like he's changing the clip. So that's when I hit him. Boom! I hit him in the chest, and he literally looked at the chest, and he was like, and then I was like, oh shit, this is a real nigga, and I ran inside at that point. I was like, whoa.
But you didn't say that you actually dragged 4 people in.
Yeah, we
One
dragged
of you-
people
Was
in.
it on your leg he shot?
I got shot in the leg.
Yeah.
I got shot in the leg because I went back.
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing. So, it's the bar business, man. You get shot, you get punched in the face. I was punched in the face 4 New Year's in a fucking row. It was like getting ridiculous. I was like, what the hell is going on here, man? I done got socked in the jaw. That's the bar business, Because, we were known in the bar business, in our bar, we were known to pick you up and bounce you on your head, because, if you kick a guy out and he's going to go home and get his gun and shoot up the place, So we'd rather just like put you in the hospital, give you a little time to think about it. So that's how we ran the bar business in Harlem. And
Many moons ago.
oh, that was a long time ago, long time ago. But I still got problems with my leg because of that. You know that my left leg, I still got the bullet in my leg, and it's like it's so horrible. I'm like, some days it feels like, some days I wake up like almost screaming because it literally feels like there's a little thin piece of metal going through my skin, and it's like with the hairs, and I'm like, it feels like you can just take a tweezer and just pull a hair of metal out. It's not true, but that's how it feels in my mind. So sometimes, oh man, it's horrible, the feeling I get with that bullet. It's moved a few times, And what's cool about having a friend as a doctor, the doc took out the scar tissue for me. Doctor surgeon, he opened me up and he ripped all the scar tissue out and he resold it. So now it's just like an indentation. It's not a big, horrible scar like it used to be. So, it's good to have friends that are doctors, But anyway, I digress from that. Let's talk more about this guy named Jordan. Daniel, give me last words on what you're feeling about this guy.
This man had a mental illness, and there was no reason or justification for anybody, especially when he didn't physically assault anyone. He was only verbal. For this young man to feel the need to be a hero or whatever the case he thought he was being, and choking the life out of this man.
Even though he didn't die when they let go of his neck, he was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't choke the life out of him. It led to his death.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ulrich? You got any words on that?
I mean, I was gonna say earlier, I don't think I got a chance to think the guy was tough enough to, I guess, save somebody from danger, but I think it's when you're a tough guy, I think you need to be tough enough to be somewhat merciful. So if you have him subdued, I don't think you have to choke him to the point where he's almost like. And Jordan's a skinny kid. He's a pretty slight
About
kid.
125, 30 pounds.
There's no, you could have, he's a guy you could have even slammed and sat on if you so even if you shouldn't be a hero if you can't have restraint in which you're kind of getting in the middle of it. So
So do you say homicide or do you say?
No, it wasn't. No, it's not.
Is it homicide?
No, it's not. No.
Homicide?
Oh, definitely homicide. He practically, it's like me beating somebody to a pulp And just because they're still breathing 2 minutes after I beat them down,
Well, if they said that he was
He
threatening, if he was actually threatening,
he was going through an episode. He verbally
So
said
what?
things.
How did get to the wait? How did it get to the point where he grabbed him? He grabbed him just by nature of him talking.
He grabbed him from behind because this guy
He was going down the train car, just scaring everybody. And this guy just came up and crept up behind him and just choked him out.
Oh no, that's that's
exactly. This guy was not physical. He was just verbally saying.
No, but
allegedly.
But I do under that. I do think the person actually believed that this guy might hurt
Call
somebody.
the police.
I'm not. Listen, I'm saying I do believe the guy thought that he was going to hurt somebody. But I think the way he went about it, he's not. I think you need to, if you want to be a hero, you have to have the ability to assess a situation. And the fact that he's on the train yelling at people, he probably just does it all. There's people who act really crazy over the top constantly. And if you reacted every time like this guy reacted, there'd be a lot of strangled.
Yes.
There'd be a lot of
choking
people
going on. Yeah.
So I do genuinely think he actually thought, something might go down. He actually had a nervousness in his heart, like something might go down. But that doesn't justify him kind of escalating the situation when it didn't have to be.
Right. Well, let me just say this. There was a recent incident of a gentleman in Queens. I don't know if you guys heard about this, where someone who had a little mental. He was shot by a guy who felt he was threatening. And initially, the police was like, okay, we understand. The guy broke a window in the building. He was going through some, a mental, episode. But they found out this guy had several guns, rifles, unregistered, everything. This guy was waiting for something like that to happen. He was looking for something like that to happen.
Yeah, I think
so. He got arrested. This just recently happened after the thing. Right. He got arrested. They realized, wait, you have 7 guns. You have AK-47.
Well, but that doesn't mean that he particularly wanted that to happen.
He was looking for you to have that type of artillery in your house. You're preparing for something. When you have unregistered firearms, why do you need an AK-47? Why do you need? And that's what they were saying.
I don't know why you need all these tables, man. Some people
What are you doing all these tables, man? What's
some
up with all
people
those
like
pots
that.
you got up there?
So
Let's show Daniel's pots up there.
Wait, hold on a second. Let's get it straight.
I was trying to get it. It's just
No, I'm about to.
everybody's coming at these
show
guns.
Let me explain something to you. I have these things because I make recipes.
Watch out. Sorry.
See, I don't agree with this kind of stuff.
Sorry.
I'll let you say that.
Sorry.
Talk about the good stuff.
Okay. Why does anyone need an AK-47? Why does anyone need this many copper pots? That is a lot of. You got $10,000 worth of copper pots over here.
A little more than that.
Look at all these copper pots. See? I love that Ulrich said that. How many knives do you need?
I'm just gonna say this. My stuff is feeding people, not killing people.
Let's go to the light. Feeding people, not killing people. You could feed somebody with an AK-47.
Bullets.
Exactly. All right, so I'm glad you brought that up, Ulrich. It's like people are so judgmental about the next guy and what they have and why do you need what you have. Daniel has $10,000 worth of copper pots.
More than that.
More than $10,000 worth of copper pots.
One pot is $1,600.
He got a $1,600 pot in here, okay? And he wants to ask the man with the AK-47, what the hell you need that AK-47 for?
All right. Well, let me explain the reason why I have this.
And you still get you can pass them down to your kids.
Exactly.
The AK-47s.
Exactly. All I'm saying is, I'm really big into craftsmanship, and when you cook,
sounds like you're talking about a gun.
No,
yeah, right.
When you cook, you actually. This is a company that's been around for 200 years. They manufacture it's handmade. It's amazing what they do.
And what country is it made in?
France.
Okay, yeah.
And what it does is it actually cooks food evenly, something that you can't get from a regular
Fresh
pan.
cut.
You know, so
Yeah, Daniel hooked me up with a bunch of. I have like 10 of them myself.
Oh,
He has
yeah.
like 50 of
Oh,
them.
that's
I
cool.
only have like 6. My wife loves the box.
exactly when you cook with it, it changes the dynamic of the way your
Okay.
food is made. So
Yeah,
I'll leave it at that.
we're gonna leave it like that.
I mean, an 8K
I'm-
compared to a
I'm-
9mm.
Let me just say this. I think that this choking incident, only because my son is involved,
Leave my brother, my son alone.
it's gotta be a hoax. This is
Leave
like-
my brother, my son alone.
Unless it's a real event and they just, they sent him to PayPal and he left his hotel room and jumped in his vehicle and made it to the protest. But once I saw my son, I was like, maybe this is not real
Why do you have so much issues with my son?
because he's fake.
How do you feel he's fake?
Because he's the guy at the rallies. He's the guy stirring up the racial pot. He's the guy living in hotels, living off of his protests.
Jesse Jackson.
He's a professional protester. And my brother Benji, he he's the one that helped open my eyes to that because he was working for them too. He said, as long as they hit my PayPal, I'll go wherever. And it started with my brother. He was this is my surrogate brother, by the way. This is basically the guy that my mom was sleeping with, right? He's like, now I'm older now, like I'm an adult, and he's like, we're like friends because he used to date my mom, and people called him my father. That's my dad and all that. And then out of nowhere, he's like, yo, I want you to meet your brother. Because he's sleeping with the kid's mother. So now we brothers. So it's like one of those situations. You're like, okay. All right. So this brother of mine's, he was like bragging about it. He's like, yo, look, showing me his PayPal, how they're giving him $50 a day, plane ticket, hotel, and he says he was in it for the girls. He said he said, yo, dude, you have no idea. He's like getting laid every night with a new chick. He's like, yeah, protesting. He's yelling and screaming. He got the blowhorn. He's traveling back and forth all over the country. And let me digress from that because I don't want to reveal everything that I know. Because now I just told you where I got it from. So I don't want to throw him under the bus. But let me just say that a lot of these events are staged. Even though it's possible that Jordan could have been killed. But then again, we find out that the guy who allegedly choked this man to death, as Daniel B would say, he got over $1.5 million in donations. $1.5 million in donations to help with his legal fees through the GoFundMe. That's when I start saying, come on. These are just numbers on the screen. This is an algorithm story. Is this even real? Is our friend Jordan hanging out in Elysium right now with Tupac?
But he was definitely crazy. He was definitely like after the fact. He was definitely
Mental illness. Crazy is a bad term.
Yeah.
First of all, mentally ill is a good term. So if I insult somebody and call them mentally ill, as soon as you use it as an insult, it becomes a bad term. No matter how medical term. Retard is a medical term.
You want us to read your
Retard
heart?
is like a legit.
But
This is that liberal. This is liberal talk.
If
This is
retard-
liberal talk.
Retardation is a term.
Yeah.
But retard but it's not even in that sense.
No, for something to retard is to just regress, go backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's to use it as retard. You could use that. You're regress, and crazy is a term to mentally ill. Crazy just means crazy to me just means unpredictable, right? That's all that crazy.
But I think when you say it in that term,
He was unpredictable.
No, I
But
get
he
that.
was,
No,
he was,
I
he was
get that, but
definitely
you understand what it means. So a lot of people, the general people, when they think of crazy, just like when they think of retard, they don't think of regression. They think of, somebody.
What I think of retard.
What you think and what other people.
When I
think
use
is two different
retard,
things.
when I use retard to describe a person, I do think somebody mental ill. I don't think of them as insultingly mentally ill. So whether I think of them as mentally ill or retarded, I still think them as mentally handicapped or something. But not. I don't think one as insulting. So like someone's with Down. If someone says someone with Down syndrome or someone's retarded, I don't see the very. Like I don't see retarded as a negative word. I don't know.
But it is.
It's a whole language term. No, but you can't say it is because that's policing language. I don't believe it. I disagree with that. That's that liberal speak. You always get
So
that.
you don't think we
that-
should police language at all? We should be able to drop the F-bombs?
F, what do you mean drop that?
You know,
Like,
there was a certain type of wood that was used to burn certain people.
fags.
Yeah, there was a fag.
Sticks. Bundle of sticks.
Bundle of sticks. So you think that maybe we should stay away from that F word?
The word fag? Nah, I'm
Why don't we just call it the F word? This is
Well, you know what's
YouTube. You're
funny,
not allowed
the
to say that.
well-
You can say nigga all day,
Yeah, because
but you just can't say.
because it's
the
funny.
F word
Somehow
like that.
fags have enough pride to not insult each other. I call each other so fag.
Yo, I don't think you should be saying that so many times because you're gonna get us totally demonetized.
I mean,
Wait. So you think we should be able to say the F word?
I don't think should anything. I don't think it should.
Because you know, on YouTube you can say nigga all day.
I don't think it shoulds or not. I think you can. I think you can examine hypocrisies. Like, so if you're saying that, why should one word be said and another one can't? I agree with that. There's no logical reason why one word should have priority over another. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Now you can't even say killed anymore. You have to say unalived.
Unalive,
That was
deleted.
absurd.
It's absolutely absurd.
See, but that's as absurd as retard to mentally ill. That's crazy. Killed to unalived or dead. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's the same.
if
It doesn't change. Retard doesn't mean anything negative. It doesn't mean anything negative. You just use it in a negative
it's how
connotation.
the word is used.
Yeah, you can use anything in a negative connotation.
If you have malice in your heart
exactly,
and you're
It's-
evil son of a beast,
it's the-
and you say, look at that nigga spicking poor white trash across the street.
Liberals make me feel like a genius. That's what.
Well, I want.
You give
I
yourself
think
a
we
lot
should.
of
Yeah,
credit.
exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Let me get
I-
your phone again. I want to go through one of those things. The words. Go ahead, Daniel B.
Just take that clip of Oryx using those words and see what people think about it.
No.
Well, I don't care. Well, people think all kinds of dumb stuff. Doesn't mean it's valid. That doesn't mean that.
Gotta play the game, though.
Yeah, using the word and thinking that something negative should happen to them, or that word is saying therefore something negative should that happens. I don't know. It's a complete different connotation. What did you
Quick
want
question:
to
Can we guys take an intermission real quick?
No. We're taking an intermission.
say? You want to take? Let him be
I gotta
fresh.
take
He
a
didn't
pee
take a
break.
break.
Okay.
I'm taking a pee break then.
Intermission. Dude, the show barely started.
That is a solid topic. Is the chatsman talking? You said side to side. It's not true. I thought you said you swipe it side to side.
No, you swipe, you go up like that. I don't even know why we can't see it. That's so
Or maybe they turned it off once you started using the derogatory
F-bombs?
language.
Oh, the F-bomb?
That'd be crazy if they just stopped. If they just stopped your channel just now. That would be actually a little scary. That would somehow that would be racist.
What would be racist?
If there was that powerful a reaction to your channel, because that would say that would diminish every other racial negative anything racial said in a negative connotation.
Okay.
But,
I'm with you. Daniel likes to watch stuff while he's using the bathroom.
yeah, that's why you want to take an intermission. You see.
He gotta answer something, right?
Well, now we can used to his. Well, I'm getting used to his idiosyncrasies. So I'm getting used to him not as bothered or disturbed by him. Also, Else, are you searching arbitrarily or know what you're looking for?
I'm looking for something. I'm sorry, dude.
You don't have to look for something. We can talk about anything.
Go ahead, talk about something.
I'll tell you something. I sent you some the other day, remember?
What was it that you
I sent
sent
you a
me?
video and said it was a possible video topic, if you can check it.
Can you remind me?
No, I don't remember what I sent you.
Oh.
No, No, I need to. No, I'm not gonna. I won't go.
No.
I'm taking this motherfucker.
Yo, did you see the little girl on the plane?
No.
Oh, this was crazy.
Is it ascending?
Daniel B. Do you know what this is about?
Oh no! Well, at first I thought I thought this was a woman or a child being afraid to fly. And She
No.
was starting to freaking out.
This is about a mother taking the phone from the child.
And that's what started the God help me chance.
The little girl is flipping on needing to be, what's the word? She needed her phone. And she wanted her phone back.
I mean, like these kinds of videos, I don't even know what you. The amount of times that I wanted to like stop in the middle, to saying, I don't understand how that child has so much freedom of movement. Like not even that. Like so once a child started getting, like, animated, the fact that she was asking questions about why are you getting animated was shocking. This behavior, there's no way this behavior is new.
No way.
There's no way. Because
No way.
if that was the case, I'd be horrified. Holy crap! Like something dormant came out that something's wrong with her. But the fact that this is just brattiness, there's something up with the mom. There's something the parents might actually have a problem for their child to have the boldness to act like that in public.
So
And
you blame the parents.
for. All right, All right, so I know sometimes it's hard. Well, yeah, well, no, yes, I blame the parents. I don't know why I was trying to even kind of be fair, and especially that the parent is also there. Of course, so it's 100% the parents' fault that the parents are acting like this.
That the child is acting like
The child's acting. You set the parameters. You set what's acceptable. The fact that the child is not terrified about the consequences for this, because I would have been, if I'm the mom, I would have been quiet, not arguing, because she knows something wicked is coming. Something like something literally something in the future scary is gonna happen, and it's gonna be a lot more dramatic and scary than how you're acting in this plan. I wouldn't even. No, that something. There would be a big drastic thing that happened. Like the child would get like, if I never. I'm imagining that was my child and I never put hands on them before, and this was like the first time.
I'm sure this child does not get hands put on them.
No, I think the child does, because what I think white people like to slap or something. They frustrate and then they feel really bad, so they apologize, and they act really sweet towards them.
So you're saying that white people are beating their children with a slap and
Yeah,
then,
my
and
roommate,
then
my
way
roommate,
too apologetic
yeah,
afterwards?
my roommate said that's how they used to give him they used to whack him across the head or something like that. But
But this child is not getting beaten.
Yeah, but I think the child just got slapped. The mother lost her. The mother had to lose her patience with her, and maybe just flipped out. Did something, maybe slapped him, something like that physically. But to the point where it's like organized. It's organized beating. Like you're gonna get this amount of pain. Like this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna get this pain from this.
Right.
Then it can have actual real effect. That not frustration beating. That's a child abuse frustration beating.
All right, let's make a lateral to this topic here. You're an educator,
Okay.
and you know how important the cell phone is to these children, high schoolers, junior high schoolers, and there are video after video of teachers being assaulted for their phones. There's even a story, I can't remember exactly where it's coming out of at the moment, but these two young ladies, teenagers, killed their mom for taking their phone. This was like yesterday or 2 days ago. And we have this young girl here, she's probably 12, and she's screaming for God to help her with just this concept of not being able to get her phone back. Do you think that do you in any way worry about cell phones, children, you being an educator, and
No,
somehow...
not my kids. Not my kids.
Not your kids.
Not my kids. Because something's gonna come to a head. I know how I am particular with my space or my area or I guess my gravity.
Right.
So if I think she gives her kid, that lady, I think she gives her kid too much space. Not let her space should be reigning over the kid. Her children, okay.
So you're saying that this child is behaving this way to her mother, but had she had a teacher, if she had a teacher, she might not be as crazy.
Teacher has something to do with it. The teacher and mother it's that the mother is trying to figure out the child when the mother should be raising the child to be the person she thinks she should be best. But the mother's trying to figure out the child, who the child is, and going by them, say a child's kind of craziness and their kind of volatility and their kind of outbursts are not something that you need to remind and understood. That's misbehavior. The misbehavior is for a reason. They need something. They want something. They're trying to express some kind of dislike. But you don't try to you don't try to understand it with, I don't know, because now we're getting into parenting things, and I'm not with child, so I guess it seems, but I guess my closest...
Yeah, but you're an educator, around kids.
Yeah, I'm an authority figure towards children.
Have you seen any freakouts?
Yeah, this kid cursed me out the other day. The kid, holy crap. So, we had this end of the year award thing. This was on Friday. This is pretty recent. We had this end of the year award thing, and during this award thing, these kids are getting all these stupid participation trophies that they don't deserve. So they're literally this award show is going for there's so many little pointless trophies for just asinine thing. Most improvement on the foosball table, within the game, just things to make them feel good. But kids are smart anyway. So, during this thing, the kids are sitting at little round tables around little decorative round tables, and then this kid, a lot of these kids, this whole group of kids, they're like, there's a certain group of kids that like to they come in and they don't have to do kind of the same, I guess, activities. They go straight to the gym. So I'm in an after school program, right? In the after school program, there's certain kind of studious activities and there's just straight gym activities. This group of kids, the group of kids particularly who I'm talking about, always go straight to the gym. Ball is life for them, right? So this one kid during the award ceremony is going like on his phone. Is like going on his phone. I told him once, don't go on your phone. I told him again, don't go on your phone. And like like it's a shocking amount of times I'm talking, but there's still an award ceremony. There's parents in the back. Yeah. There's parents like in the back, so you can't really come at the child the way you want to. So the kid is insinuating that it's an important phone call. It's important or something like that. And so when there's finally a stoppage in like the award presentations, I take him to the back, and I take him and the two kids who are the most who were giving a lot of difficulty with the phones, that I had to keep on repeating and telling them over and over again. And explain to me now that we're here, I can listen to you. Tell me what was so important that you didn't listen to me when I told you not to go on your phone 5 or 6 times. And this one kid is just saying this one kid said some nonsense. I don't remember, but the other kid saying he has to talk to his mom. He has to transfer like a lot of buses, right? But which is somewhat reasonable because he's worried about like worried about the trip or something like that, or nervous about that. And I'm explaining to him, do you see the difference in how, now that I understand your situation, now that I understand your situation, it seems reasonable, instead of when I was giving you direction to turn off, to stop talking on your phone, instead of just sucking your teeth and continuously disobeying, you could have just listened to this. So another staff comes seeing it, so it still hasn't escalated. So another staff comes in, they sees me talking to him. This one of the gym staff who's a little more familiar with the kid. And then, and the kid, he's getting like frustrated. He's starting to
hyperventilate.
Yeah, hyperventilate, burst into tears. But you just, and then once the gym staff came in, I guess he was comfortable enough to just let it go. He's like, he doesn't effort understand. Or just F this guy. He doesn't effort understand. It's really effort for. And just crying his eyes out, like crazy, just spittling and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I forget what I told. I said that to say that I've been cursed out with by
over the phone.
No, that was in person.
Yeah, but it was phone related.
Yeah. But cursed out over something stupid. Cursed out over something innocuous. I think I was trying to say it more than that. So with this lady, I'm not sure if you saw it, Danby, or you probably heard it. So a lady and a daughter was on an airplane, and the daughter was freaking out over the mom, just making a whole crazy scene.
Right.
How I'm explaining it is understating it.
Yeah, she's like fighting and trying to get onto the aisle. Was really trying to get in the mother's purse. And then the mother's just
To
like
get the
moving
phone, right?
Yeah, to get the phone. And she won. The mother, now the little girl screaming on the people on the plane, "Stop staring at me!" And so it's the phone. And then I was saying how I think earlier, like 2 days ago, these young ladies, they say, killed their mom because the mom confiscated their phones. And I was asking Ulrich, "Are you dealing with all this phone issues?"
Yeah.
And he told the story about him getting cursed out by a kid who he told 5 times, like, "Yo, get off the phone. This is like an award ceremony. Don't be on your phone." And what say you about something like that, Daniel B?
I mean, it's sad. The kids are addicted to phones. It's like it's an addiction. It really is an addiction. It's like this is all that they're doing. This is what This is what parents give them as their pastime to pacify them. So they get addicted to it. This is all they know how to interact or anything else with.
Just move the chair over a little bit.
Yeah, these lights are making me blink like crazy. I feel like I'm just blinking from this.
These I got them pointed in different directions today.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, dude. Yeah, I think it's crazy, man. I think that if these stories are true, like I have a hard time believing that a mom didn't know the cues of her two daughters were willing to kill her over the phone. Like how?
No, they can't know that.
Why would you
They
think
kill
that?
that?
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna
wanna,
kill
you
I
on
don't
the
like
phone.
kill.
You don't think that you're gonna know that you got a killer in the house?
No, kill. Come on. I don't.
So you saying that this is just a surprise to the mother that
Yes.
you got?
that she killed me?
That my children that I born and spend my life just killed me.
I think that's a
Ah.
surprise.
Did I see the kid looking at me in the middle of the night with a knife? Like, I'm gonna get you? No.
Yeah.
So you're
I thought
saying
you
that
talked
you
about
don't
that
know
one.
until the kid. There has to be signs.
I think this kid
No, you can know that
exploded.
kid is
I think,
anger, but yeah, but not freaking that they're murderous.
What about the little girl who killed her brother last week? You heard about that?
No.
Little girl creeps into the brother's bedroom and stabs him in the chest, kills him, and she's all over. You could all over the internet. You just hear the little girl's voice. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But did she mean it when she killed the cat and the rat down the block?
No, she didn't do all that yet. She went straight to the body. See, I'm glad you said what you just said, Daniel B, because this is why I have this theory on algorithm stories. My theory is that all these stories are based because we need to be able to promote the fear into the people. Like, I have a hard time believing that these two girls killed their mother over a phone. Because in my mind, I would think that the first time you took the phone, you could see to that kid, whoa, what that look was about. That kid wanted to kill me. You know? I just have a hard time believing that it's just a shocker. I just got hit with a hammer upside my head and they're stabbing me in the heart 18 times over the phones. I just feel like how do you get to the point where you are stabbing your mother, beating her up, and killing your brother over these phones and not like how do you? Let me just say this: I have children. I have a of course I have the 24-year-old, which I wasn't in her life and didn't raise her or anything like that. And then I have the new children, which is the remix, my remix, and that's the 12 and 10-year-old. And I have to pull them to the side and I have to talk to them like, listen, this right here, you cannot, there's a certain way, like violence. Like, my kids are sweet kids. They ain't gonna, like, how do you get to not notice that your children, in other words, here's the thing. If this story is real, that two girls killed their mother over taking the cell phone, wow, these lights are really getting at you like that?
It might be drying out my contacts. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, let me move it right here. I'm gonna move it that way.
I was gonna turn this one down to see if it.
Well, I got this one right here on me. That there's no way that could be messing with you. So what I'm saying is, how the hell don't you know that your children are this evil and willing to kill? And you guys were so quick to just be like, no way, you couldn't know that's gonna happen.
I mean, how can you know something like kill? You're. So, what was your biggest escalation towards violence? Like, what would you assume was their biggest escalation towards violence before they got to the killing thing? That would make the mother think, oh well, next thing you know, he might stab me.
Maybe if they start, that's a great question. Maybe they might, start acting like they reaching for a weapon, or maybe they might smash something, or they might hurt themselves in some sort of way. Like maybe they might break a mirror, or that violence to let somebody take your phone and you kill that person for taking your phone. It's like, how do we get to this? Like, in other
That's
words,
nature, not nurture, though.
let me just say this.
Yeah.
I think that it's all BS. What this little girl is going through about needing the phone back, is it just the title that we're reading and it's something else that was going on? But yet, of course, we're going to say that we read the title tells us little girl has this panic attack in the plane because her mother took the phone. Yeah. That's the title we're reading. Yeah. Is that truly what happened? And then I question what child is going to kill their parents over a cell phone? Like, doesn't the parent threaten the kid with the cell phone taking so many times that this was the last straw? Like, come on. Like, I just think that, then you gotta make sure you come closer.
Yeah.
But I don't want you like leaning because then it doesn't come. You look better when you're straight. Perfect. Thank you. I just have a hard time believing that parents are unaware that their children are capable of this sort of
The
evil.
Menendez brothers.
Was that even real already? Was that even real?
I'm just saying, like, if you know, you just if you
Another,
just believe
you
everything.
guys are like moving around heavy.
I mean, time out. I just had a reason to move forward
Mm-hmm.
with my eyes. I have another reason. I have all legitimate reasons. To
Yeah, the LEDs are in my eyes.
Yes.
All right, well, get a beer over. We like you with your drinking. So let's keep
What a nice
drinking.
thing to say.
Well, you know, forget about it. So now, check this out. So, yeah, open that back up where it was. So I just don't believe it. I can't believe that you guys think that that's real.
It is
No.
real.
Let me just say this. Let me go here. Daniel B. You had a hard mom to live with.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult to live with. She invented gaslighting.
Yeah.
You ain't never was gonna kill that woman, man. My mother, as you know, as evil as she was, I was never gonna kill her. I never even know if I ever wanted to kill her.
Also,
I wanted to get away. I wanted my space.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to get away from that craziness.
Open it.
But to take a human life over a phone, I'm calling propaganda. I'm calling the algorithm story. This is what I refer to as an algorithm story. The algorithm is creating these stories. The algorithm is pushing a narrative that obviously these phones are out of control. That obviously we have no control over our children. That obviously children are very, very much more violent than they ever been before. And obviously you can't trust what? Who you can't trust? Nobody. Can't trust your neighbors. Not even you too believe that a kid will kill their parents, and the parents just have no
but
idea.
I mean, I don't believe a freaking kid would shoot up a school just because a freaking girl wouldn't freaking be his girlfriend, or just because a kid freaking gave him a wedgie.
Yeah, neither will I. I don't believe that neither.
What I'm saying, but I think there's another maybe potential denominator outside of just the denominators just contrived or fake stories. I think another common denominator is the intense, insane increase of prescription medications.
Right.
And I think they could add to some kind of.
Right.
I
Like,
genuinely
let's
think
see
they
if
could
these
add to the
sisters,
Yeah.
that killed their mother, were they both on some lithium?
Yeah, because in the early '90s literally in the early '90s.
Yes,
In the
sir.
early '90s is when a bill was passed where they commercialized they made it easier to distribute prescription medication to children and not just to children, to everybody. And it made it so there was just an explosion. That's why the '90s and up. That's when pharmaceutical companies became
Purdue
the
and all
freaking
those places.
super
Yeah.
rich. And when did kind of all these crazy acts kind of become common towards it? They can come towards the late '90s. When it just
They blamed it on crack. Remember, they said the crack.
No, but the
you were gonna-
teenagers weren't
people were
crackheads.
killing. But they were
Yeah.
saying that people were killing their parents for crack. That was the propaganda they was pushing. I was all around that.
that makes more sense for some reason. than
But I was
social
around
media.
all that
It
crack
makes more
in Harlem
sense.
in that timeline. I didn't see nobody kill their mama. You know, they robbed her. They ain't kill her.
I think we need to take a big hard look at mental illness and the fact that mental illness has become this is perfect. It ties into the episode. How mental illness has become a thing that we're building awareness about. We're saying mental, and we need to pay more attention to mental illness. We need to take more care of mental illness. And I think
I've been hearing all that lately.
But the
Mental
bigger
illness,
attention,
everything is mental illness and
Yeah,
all
but
these
what
suicidal
happens-
people. But
yeah, but what the biggest thing that happens is outside of prescribing medications for them is that you're putting them in therapy. And I think prescription medication. I think even childhood therapy with emotional issues. I think to talk to a professional as when you're developing as a child is idiotic. And when I say talk to a professional, talk to a professional about your complex and your ever changing kind of feelings.
Right.
That are kind of it's normal for you to deal with those feelings. But you're conditioned but somehow we're conditioned not to, because if you're conditioned not to deal with those feelings, then you can have this service given to you, whether the service be prescription medications or to be therapy along those lines. And I think all these things are all these world-saving, life-saving, save anything. These good intention, all these good intention things are leading us to
it's
a
not
worse
good
hell
intention.
thereof.
This is capitalism. It has no moral.
No, capitalism is not what.
This
Capitalism
is capitalism. If you're telling me that they're legislating to make it easier to give minors medication and put them on some sort of spell, and now they're killing their mothers and fathers, and we blaming technology, and we're not. Here's the thing: you have to understand.
That's not a market, but that's not a. Your tissue.
Capitalism is pushing this.
In the kitchen by the toaster.
Capitalism is an economic theory, though. It can't push the.
You're saying that capitalism is not the core.
Capitalism just means that the government can't control the market, meaning what government can't control what people buy. I think some of these legislation and these rules, and it has to do more with innovation. In other words, there's a lot of things that are not available to the public. Not the things that are not allowed. So capitalism is not just indicative of not being able to use, just not being able to think, because things can come.
Are you saying
there's a lot of red tape
that there's something more nefarious going on than people just trying to make money by pumping out all these pills to 60% of all women over 35 years old?
You're saying more nefarious? I mean, I think the pills in general. I think we know that these pills cause more damage than good.
Right.
But I think it's important that kids that it not only be suggested to kids, but have it necessary that kids take them. Because if you have it necessary that kids take them, then no matter what, you have an automatic customer with every new person that's born. So it's an evil business, and exaggerating. Well, I don't want to say the word exaggerating, but using mental health or leveraging mental health kind of fosters a system where you can say, all right, we need this, this, and that. We need these pills, we need this therapy, and we need this. And I think those are aiding to the negativity more than the mental illness in and of itself. So, I don't know where I was going with that.
Daniel B.
I disagree with both of them. Therapy is good. Some people do need medication.
So you think it's all right for a 10-year-old to talk to a therapist?
I think it's amazing. I
That's
think it's
crazy to me.
I think it's great.
10, 12,
Yes. Why not?
9,
Yes.
8.
Until when they're able to express themselves and everything else, they may want to have an objective party other than their parents. Yes. A lot of times I think people had their uncles, their aunts, they had, people in the community. Now I don't think that's they don't have that a lot as they used to. So I think sometimes they want someone to talk to where they can sit there and kind of figure things out. Sometimes your parents don't know it all. So when you have a professional that comes in, it's like having a teacher. Your parents can't teach you everything.
But they're figuring you out though. The therapist figures you out.
No, it
No,
depends on the
They
therapy.
diagnose you.
No, they figure you out.
They depends on the therapy.
No. Okay, but I see where you're going. With
Yeah.
that. But I'm saying, but the point of you're saying the point of going to someone other than your parents.
No, I'm
is
saying
your
they
parents-
could. I'm using this as an option. Not saying specifically. Just
Yeah,
saying they may have a second
But
voice.
the
They-
utility and the purpose is that your parents don't have an answer that the therapists do have. Is that correct?
No, sometimes
some-
no. Sometimes just like having a teacher can actually help a student do something that a parent can't because they're
Why is
educated
that?
on
Because
it.
they have an answer that the parents don't have.
No,
That's-
because they're educated on it. This is what they train
So
on.
their education gives them an answer that the parents don't have.
Or a way of getting them to the answer that they need or want and helping them get there.
And so you're
It's like a
saying,
teacher saying 2 + 2. You're not giving the kids the answer, but you're saying this is the process of doing it. Perfect example, my daughter. I could not get my daughter to do math.
How
Could not.
old?
She was at the time, let's say 6. She wasn't doing well in math.
yeah.
I'm sitting here 1 + 1, 2 + 2. My sister says, you know what? Walk up and down the stairs with her. Let her count the stairs, count backwards, everything else. Worked perfectly. My daughter, within no time, understood it. And I was like, how did you do this? She said, I'm a teacher. This is what I do. This is what I went to school to do. These are processes we learn. It's like sitting there saying, oh, I'm sick. What do you do when you're really sick? When your parents can't deal with it because the parents know about a certain amount. You go to a doctor, a professional.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with.
A therapist
I don't,
is that professional.
I don't disagree with having the example you just showed is having teachers teach your kids because teachers have a better way of teaching. Teachers have a trained way of teaching your kids.
No, what I'm going to say is what my sister did was teach me. She educated me on how to teach my daughter.
There's a difference between teaching and therapy. I think teaching now. I agree that teachers could potentially. The only reason why, if it wasn't for propaganda, there wouldn't be a need for homeschool. I think the biggest, it's not that teachers can't teach, it's that teachers like to teach in addition to, they like to implant things. And I think that's what deters people away from public schools rather than the ability to teach. So so I don't think anybody has a disagreement in how effective teachers can be and that teachers are needed. Therapists are very different because therapists in emotional like arithmetic and English are very different than your understanding of yourself and your understanding of your triggers and your understanding of your traumas. So I think when you say when you're talking about someone else to master you, someone can implant you with those things. In other words, so a therapist has the power to gaslight you into thinking that you have certain problems that you don't have. The perfect example. I was just watching a Dr. Phil about this. There was a Dr. Phil where there was this actress. There was this lady who she was a failed actress. She was a child actress. She did a bunch of commercials, and she failed. She went for a bunch of auditions, and she stopped getting opportunities, right? And what happened is she started seeing a therapist because like she didn't know what to do with herself. She didn't know where to go, and after she started talking to this therapist, all of a sudden she realized, you know what talk. And she said, talk to the therapist made me realize that there was a repressed memory that I forgot. My dad touched me, and literally the talk. Literally, this is what somehow she got from point A to point B. Anyway, it came out. They did a lie. Now you can say whether or not you trust lie detectors, but it came out, and the mother corroborated that it was unlikely that the dad ever did this, and the lie detector came out that the daughter was lying and the dad was lying. So take it with a grain of salt, as Dr. Phil. But I say that to say therapists have the power to implant things. Learning arithmetic is different. Learning math and stuff, there's very specific rules. Learning yourself is very complex, and you cannot. I don't think you can choose a professional to learn yourself, and I think that's the problem with therapists. And I think they don't help people learn themselves. They use them as blank slates and they implant shit on them. Anyway,
Well, I was going to
That's
say,
not a
my
therapy.
whole main thing about saying using a sister as an example was not about teaching. It's the fact that she's educated in it, so she knows better. She's able to give me an understanding that I can't have. I feel a therapist is the same way. Even though he uses one example, I think most therapists is like teaching has rules.
No, I know where it went. I just had it.
It's right there. It's right. I am all for therapy. I don't know how I am about children's therapy. I have a little bit of an issue because, like Ulrich said, next thing you know, the kid is having these flashbacks of things that never even happened because the therapist has followed the playbook, so to speak.
That's
The
algorithm, I believe. That
Okay.
right there, that thought, that mentality, to me is the algorithm. When you have someone, it's like you can say the same thing about doctors. You can say the same thing about a lot of people in a lot of fields. Even if you can say that about a plumber or a mechanic that gives you an estimate. You can always say that, but all I'm saying is these are
But
professional.
therapy is promoted and popularized, and it's incentivized that people do therapy. You can see it in the commercials today,
Yes.
even in school. In literally in my after school program, they're talking about how they talk about the importance of therapy.
Yeah, because
So it's being
of-
promoted. It's being pushed on
It's
people.
being pushed a
yeah,
lot.
It's being
It's like-
yeah.
Well, let me
We
give-
need to
let me
think
give you
about
You
another
it.
can't
example.
watch The Breakfast Club and not have Charlemagne talk about his
Better
therapy
help.
session.
Yeah.
But let me just say one example.
Yeah.
There was a young man, very young teenager, and he just never, no one explained to him how he had built up anger. He didn't know how to deal with anxiety. And through his therapist, and a lot of people I see through their therapy actually are able to work through these things. They give them systems and plans. They sit there and say, well, try this method, try this method. The same thing as a doctor does. Try this method, try this medication, try doing these things, try taking these steps. And I think, yes, it's promoted, but it's also promoted to go to the doctor. It's promoted when your car's broke, go to the mechanic. It's a lot of things.
I'll make
promoted.
the biggest. There's an ultimate difference between them, especially with mental health. Mental health is self-diagnosed a lot of times, and you express what's wrong with you. In other words, so you can go through a line of how you're feeling. Have you ever felt the way, and you might not be? Are you articulate with your emotions? Do you know how to express exactly how you're feeling?
I think a lot of the times, but certain times I don't.
So if when you're talking, like, say you go to a doctor and you can say, I have pain on my left side. Pain, I have a sharp pain or I have a dull pain on my left side. A sharp or a dull pain. A sharp pain can speak to the blah blah blah. Or there's a pancreatitis or blah 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 blah. Now with mental health, I'm not sure. Sometimes I don't feel like waking up. What I'm saying is, it's a very it's therapy. The brain or the mind or yourself is unsolvable outside of yourself. I don't know how to say it. The mind is unsolvable outside of itself. In other words, you see those tools that were given that you just said, the different things. The part of doing part of them, bearing any fruit or being useful in any way is you exercising and you having the kind of, you have to have the kind of mental, not only mental discipline, you have to have a lot that goes into it. I don't even know what I'm
speak?
trying to say.
Let me speak.
Go ahead.
There was a time where my wife and I was having some huge problems. It was one of those things where everywhere I went, I was obviously smashing some chick, right? And it started to get a little out of hand. So I had to put my foot down and say, for us to stay together, you got to get some therapy. So there was only one rule with the therapy, was this: you cannot be put on any medication. If that was it, that was the only thing I said. I said, you cannot be, and I told her, and then I said, and you can't be with the same person for like more than 6 months. So she goes to therapy, and she went through like 3 different therapists, and it worked out really well. I changed our lives as far as like the freaking out, the freak out sessions, and the always wondering where I'm at and all this. And all this is all before, this is, the 250-pound version of me, not the 350-pound beautiful man you see today. It helped me the bigger I got, the easier it was for her to let me outside the house. Every 20 pounds, I could go an extra hour without the phone ringing. So I digress from that. I say that in jest. But therapy does help, and the crazy thing about it is that one of the particular therapists she went to, she really enjoyed. But every time she got there, the therapist would spend 10 minutes trying to convince her to take some damn lithium. And a lot of my clients that I deal with, I'm in the cannabis world, and a lot of my clients are trying to get off of all the antidepressants and the lithium, so they're trying to get into that cannabis world, and they're trying to do like gummies and tinctures, and they're doing stuff like live resin, and they're just doing a couple of drops of the live resin and then just like slowly working that in, because they're saying that for the last 10 years all their therapists have put them and every friend that they know on therapy. And it's like, I'm not on therapy, on these medications, and these medications are something interesting that you said, that the young lady, because I just cannot accept that children are killing. I went through a lot with my mom. Daniel B went through a lot with his mother. My mom was the one who, wants to hit you with a cast iron pot and then brag about it to the whole church, that she bust you upside your head with a cast iron pot. Daniel B's mother would just threaten to hit him with a cast iron pot. And try to make him feel real bad about everything. And we did not take the lives of our parents. If we were on these antidepressants, would that then lead to? You see, what's interesting is that we talked earlier how you could say nigger all day, but you can't say the F word about the LGBT community. That F word is like off limits. So what also is off limits on YouTube, and it's really in there, the term of their terms and conditions is not. They don't even want you talking about antidepressants on this channel. They're trying to stifle that 100%. So I do find it interesting how YouTube doesn't even want you talking about it. No one is talking about it. Talking about these girls killing their mother, but it's over the phone. They're talking about that little girl in that plane, how it was over the phone. Like, we're blaming the phone instead of maybe, like you said, they're possibly on something. Because let me tell you, I have tons of clients in the cannabis world that are on antidepressants. I'm talking about, if I say 65-70%, I'm being generous here. And it's a really serious thing. And I've done a lot of consultations on where a person should go, trying to wean themselves off of that, because that's what we do. We do tons of consultations with people that are trying to wean themselves off of these antidepressants, because
or anti-anxiety also.
Anti-anxiety, antidepressants, anti-anxiety.
Teenager.
It's all these different. These are adults that are just over it. I think that.
I know, that's what they're just prescribing anti-anxiety and antidepressant to teenagers. You think it would be normal to wallow as a teenager, to be in a deep, not want to get out of bed. It'd be normal to be worried or nervous over something that doesn't make sense. Instead, they want to give you medication. Come on.
I don't get it.
Come on.
I don't get it, man.
What are you talking about?
I don't get it, because let me just say this.
Because they think the alternative is suicide. They say if we don't give him medication, they might kill themselves. That's what I'm telling you.
Have you heard about that beautiful black woman 2 years ago who threw herself off that 29th floor? Mm-hmm. Remember Manhattan? Mm-hmm. She had a beautiful baby. She was on antidepressants. Nobody ever talks about that. It's just really disturbing what's going on. We really are becoming a slave to wanting to feel good. Like for me, like my wife, she's more of a wake and baker. She can wake and bake. And if you don't know what that means, you can just Urban Dictionary that. And I, on the other hand, am not a wake and baker. I don't like to even touch anything until it's 6 o'clock at night, and I just, I might take a few tokes, and then I will throughout the night, and I can go through just maybe a gram a day of something in the sativa hybrid world. I'm not into indigos and wanting to just, sit around and all that kind of stuff. Maybe if I was going through some aches and pains, I'll do a little indica. But what I would like to do is, I know that a lot of people want to feel like from the minute they wake up, they don't want to feel themselves. And I'm not dissing anyone who's into waking and baking, but there are some people out here that they wake and bake, and throughout the whole entire day, they are full of caffeine from all of these coffee shops. They're popping massive amounts of THC through the gummies and through the drops and all that kind of stuff. And this is like before lunch. Then they're taking it into the evening. Now they're vaping on the trains all the way home. And then when they get home, they gotta light that big spliff. And this is the one with the tobacco in it. And then they just, so there's a lot of escapism. It's not just the people on these written
Speak for myself.
yeah, these written
Yeah.
prescriptions. There's just a world out there that don't want to feel. They don't want to feel. They don't want to. They all checking out. Nobody wants to. No one wants to feel the reality of stress, the reality of worry. Like me, I worry all the time. I stress all the time. I'm always thinking about my kids, wondering if they're okay. Because we're like nomads, so we live a little different lives where my kids are on their bikes, riding 2-3 miles to the library, and they're out there. So I have to always make sure, you got your helmets on. So the other day, my son, he went on a 6-mile bike ride with a friend from the neighborhood, and he didn't have his helmet. So I'm worrying about that. And it's like always worrying, but you need that. That's that worry about your
Worry's your
family.
drive. That's your drive.
That's my drive.
Yeah,
that's
that's
my.
your-
You
People
know.
don't
Can I
understand
say
that.
something?
Yeah.
Just because it's your drive doesn't mean it takes someone else. to
No,
hold
all
another level.
worry, or
There's
worrying
so
about the
many-
future. Think about the future is a natural drive.
Yes,
because
no,
that's how
it's-
people naturally are inclined to survive, to think about their future.
Some
If
people,
you-
again, you're yes, some people, but some people are not. Some people take that and they don't want to see a future. They can't see a future. There's so many
Yeah, the
different
damage. It's
intangibles in it.
damage. Yeah, it's what I'm saying. It's a natural state of being to be worried and to think about what.
But
you have
how
to
you
do.
handle that worry
Because
is
you-
different for each individual.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
people
but
they do drugs.
what I'm saying is, but
They're
what I'm
high
saying-
all
yeah.
day. I can't be high all day. Like that's just crazy to me.
That's my point
Everybody
with
that's
Elvis,
high all
yeah.
the time, and I'm in the cannabis world. And no, I'm a lightweight. I'm a total lightweight. A gram a day, a gram and a half is a lot to me.
But with teenagers, they're worried about the future. They're worried about being loved or who they're going to be in the future. That drives them to having intense anxiety, intense feelings of sorrow and depression. And then what happens? They go to talk to somebody and say, "Hey, you want to take a hit?" That's what they.
That's what they do.
That's what they.
That's not what they all do.
I'm
That's,
just- I'm
that's
just-
not what they're all doing.
That's what
Some of
Daniel,
them.
they're putting your
That's what.
dude, you go to a therapist, they pushing them pills on you.
I'm
every
gonna
time.
be honest. My therapist never. That was never even an
When I-
option.
Oh, they must be
before.
holistic. They advertise.
Who knows what happened? Dude, when I was a kid, and I
Daniel,
used
let's
to
keep
get
it
in a lot of
real.
trouble
Are they
sometimes.
holistic?
No,
Daniel.
they're not.
Daniel, you're gonna have after the show. You're gonna have to give me a site. I need to see what this person is like.
Yeah.
I need to look this person
I have a
up
therapist and a
no,
psychoanalyst.
of a therapist ain't pushing.
Bro, you have an analyst, man. Woody Allen.
What do you mean by Woody
No,
Allen?
I know what you mean.
Woody Allen, he was in analysis his whole life. That was part of the big theme he had. Because he never would figure himself out, but then he realized after a while it was a waste of time.
He's a pervert.
That's what he.
He's a pervert.
Yeah, he married his daughter.
He
We're not
married his
even.
daughter.
But wait, I just want to mention the medication thing. And I'm a pretty aggressive guy in general.
Mm-hmm.
I was suggested to be put on medication countless times in my
I
life.
can see that though.
Countless. What I'm saying, I mean, but
Oh,
uh-oh.
oh, that was cool.
Yeah, that close.
Yes.
Perfect.
That was good.
But what I'm saying is that was pushed and pushed and pushed on me. So what I'm saying is, who knows the kind of
No, I
detriment
agree.
that could have
There's some, there's some people.
You know,
that,
I had a parent that took me and took my brother and I to therapist after therapist after therapist when I was a child because this parent of mine refused to believe that I was just a hyperactive kid. The therapist, these people used to be like, "Sir, there's nothing wrong with your kids. Your kids is perfect." They're like, "You got one, he don't talk as much." But this one here, this guy, the one who's talking, they're like, "Yo, you a winner right here." He's like, "Nah, this is not normal." And he was, now I'm revealing who the parent was. But this parent was so insistent on me needing to be put on a drug as a kid. It was kind of disturbing. I used to be like, what the hell, man? Why you keep having us go to these places? And they all keep saying the same thing. Like, yo, this kid is like, he got a lot going on in your mind, but this is like, we working with, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but they were talking a lot of amazing things about me as a kid. Daniel B knows. Like Daniel B, he went to a gifted and talented school growing up. He knows about, certain statuses in the world. And when they were telling my mother this stuff, she was like, yeah, whatever. Because she had to go to work. And she had her own life in her mind, and she didn't need her to be involved like that with kids and dreams. Like, I didn't know that you can have a dream and plan for the future. My mother's attitude was like, just, we're going to church, and this is your future, and this is it. And you're going to end up in a paradise, and you're going to have a great life. I said, whoa, what about today? What about right now? You saying, I got to knock on people's doors and push this ideology, and if I don't, you're going to put your foot in my ass. And I was like, I didn't want no part of that, so I had to find other ways. But in between that, I had another parent who was just forced, like just really trying to get me on some drugs. So I see these parents that are letting, like Daniel B said, 7, 8 years old, no problem. I would be against it. 7, 8-year-old kid talking to a therapist, and their parents just don't kind of like get them, understand them, because let me tell you, they are going to put your kids on something, and they're gonna be that wake and bake interpretation of where they just don't want to go. They don't want to feel. People don't want to feel no pain. They don't want to feel no sorrow. They don't want to be. They don't want to problem solve.
Well, let me just say, can I interject?
Yeah, please.
What I want to say is, if you think about it, our society as a whole is a pill-popping society, meaning that we want a pill that's going to alleviate anything. Even if it's, I hate to say it's even diarrhea. Say we want a pill that's going to get rid of it. Even if a doctor says, yo, just use a rolling ball. Go against the wall and roll. We want the simple cure.
A rolling ball will stop diarrhea?
No, but it will loosen it up. It loosens up your bowels.
Really?
Wait, isn't diarrhea you already loose? What are you talking about?
No.
You talking about constipation?
Constipation, my apologies.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
constipation. There's different things that you
I don't
can
have
do.
that problem.
A lot of people don't want to do the work. And we're in a society where doctors will throw pills at you to see what works. That's what it really is.
Yeah,
They're
that's
throwing
right.
things at you, seeing which one sticks.
Right.
So, but we're a society of laziness. We don't want to do the work. We don't want to do the holistic work. We don't want to juice. We want to go buy a juice. We don't want to take the time to find out what works with our system and use that. We rather sit there and say, okay, I'm going to take a Maalox, so I'm going to do this. We want the quick fix. We want the real fast.
I think we need to stop trying to fix ourselves, and I think we need to be happy with discomfort, or be comfortable or understanding with being a little uncomfortable.
Right.
Because people trying to find their
with
best
you on
self. I
that.
want to feel optimal. What the video y'all talking about?
Put it on the show channel so I can look at the
Okay.
channel.
Yeah, but so I feel like if now I do sedate myself in different ways, so I can't. It's not that I'm always okay with feeling my pain or like thought.
Yeah, there's escapism. Like I
Yeah.
said, you can escape and find these pockets of time. Even if it's just watching a good movie, there's escapism. There's so much available to that. But my whole thing is, what about? Let me just go. Oh, yeah, perfect.
I was gonna say that doesn't escape my worry though. Sedating myself doesn't escape my because I could be under different influences, but nothing. My worry wouldn't leave me.
Someone said that little girl was possessed. That was T Rilla. What's up, T Rilla?
Oh, T really, yo, I like
Richard
talking like that
Emmanuel.
real
What's
talk.
up, man? What's up, y'all? They agree with Ulrich. So Richard Emmanuel agrees with Ulrich. As a
On what point?
23-year-old, I was used to. This is right now. The last thing you just said. At 23 years old, I was used to do therapy at my old college, and it worked wonders for me. So he did well. I guess he agrees with you with the kids. So Richard Emmanuel, yes, Elvis, Daniel. How do you keep your copper pots from tarnishing? We're not gonna get into that thing. Respectfully. That's exactly why it's a dang you. He can turn that copper into money. Right. Elvis.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Alchemist.
slap you. Somebody Nicholas Matthews said that they were gonna slap me. Okay. What else we got? Somebody said pimp talk. That was earlier in the show. Alright, so let me just say this. The algorithm stories are things that I think we should definitely have a little algorithm story segment. I've been working on it behind the scenes because there's so much news out there. They have kids all around America getting shot, right, in these little towns, and the kids are all surviving the shot because they want to slowly get you to give up the guns, so they say, right? And
I agree with that.
all these kids across America, so they'll have like a patch on their eye, and there'll be like a little girl. Yeah, I'm just ready to go back to cheerleading, and she's like a little fat girl. I can't wait to go back to cheerleading, but yet 2 days ago you were shot and you lost your eye. So when you get shot in the eye, there's funny things that happen, like your head swells up to the size of a damn basketball, and your eyes get this small because it's squinting. It's from the stretching and the swelling, but yet they just regular. So there's every day there's a new story. I like to call it the algorithm stories, and they're hilarious.
Like
and the way we would approach it is we wouldn't be conspiratorial about it. We'll just play it for the people, and I'll just be like. Like
that's so that's confused.
Yeah. But it'll be tongue in cheek because look, nobody's watching us right now. We're nobody, so we'll slowly, slip it in with the algorithm. Yo, there are so many.
I've seen the premium black news.
Yeah. So there's so many stories out there that it just can't be real. There has to be the algorithm, and then we'll do the algorithm fashion and prints because almost all prints since 2017, 2018. They fired, like Ralph Lauren and all these people, they fired all their computer designers. These people that were sitting at a computer for like the last 15 years and creating textiles. So you have all these textiles and all these prints, and they were putting them on shirts and t-shirts and towels. They got rid of all those people's jobs. All those people, they all fired. They got something else they're doing. And what they do is they have the algorithm create all these fashions. So all the clothes are all based on what's happening in the world. So you think you're wearing like the latest and coolest, you don't realize that you're being steered by the algorithms. Anyway, that's a story for another day. All right. So that's a segment we're gonna have to be doing because, and then it might even be like that guy Jordan, the guy who's dancing in the trains, and how once I saw my son, I said this can't be real. But like I said, it could be a real story that they just latch on to. And then the algorithm will put the 1.5. It's numbers on the screen. It's not money. It's nothing backing it. It's like Bitcoin. Nothing is backing it. Just the idea that we all believe it's worth something, so it is. But anyway, I digress from all this. We're live again. Sorry guys, we had a little glitch in the system, but we're back.
You were live before?
Alright, so what were we talking about, guys? Because today was a no topic day where we were just going through the World Star and just kind of talking to you all, because I had such a busy week, and normally I try to prepare the show a lot better, but trying to open up a second dispensary is what some might refer to as daunting. But and then being morbidly obese, I don't have the energy like I normally would, where I'm just busting things out.
Saying being morbidly obese.
Oh no, I am morbidly obese. Daniel, how many places have you seen me open? Mm-hmm. You see me open a few places, huh? You see me open a few businesses from scratch. Mm-hmm. I have only 2% of the energy that I normally have to get these things done. I'm a guy who puts in a 16-hour day like it's nothing. I could do 6 months of that.
But you're the size of a football player. You're actually smaller than a linebacker.
No, Daniel, thank you for that. I appreciate
No,
that.
but seriously, you really think about it.
It's absolutely ridiculous that for me to be 350 pounds. That's like Well, what am I doing? But that's the story for another day. Big Officer Chef Rosenberg is not here looking for any sympathy. I'm calling myself morbidly obese. Also, what I like about referring to myself as morbidly obese, I could talk about fat people.
There we go. See?
And I love talking about fat people. I love it because let me tell you, there's no way you're gonna tell me your knees ain't hurting, because mine's are. There's no way you're gonna tell me that like last night, me and wifey we were together. Oh man, it was nice too, but I had to do it on some fat man stuff. I was like, on some fat man shit. Can I just lay down and let you put in the work? And she put in that work. It was beautiful. And
That was a perfect. That's a perfect.
I was just like cheerleading. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, you doing your thing. But I didn't really put in any work because I'm morbidly obese, and that's the problem. When you're morbidly obese, things change. Like I would have had this dispensary open last week.
Gotcha.
It's been already 7 weeks, and I've only done 2 weeks worth of work. What you gonna do? But I'm doing. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna change. I know I am. Daniel B, we love you, man. Oh, Rick, come on. We all love you. Come on. The people love you. I love you. Daniel loves you. And I don't even know what to say.
I have my contacts.
Yo,
I can't even see what's happening.
Do we have any other topics? Anything on your mind, Ulrich?
No, I can't see you guys as well because I took my contacts out because the glare was messing me up. So now it's just bodies. You look like you're wearing a blonde wig a little bit, Elvis.
A blonde wig?
Yeah, maybe it's because it looks like this is the side of your hair.
No. I went and got a haircut today, and then I told the guy, yo, blow dry my hair. He didn't know how to blow dry. So it's all
That's
good. And then I don't
dramatic
use any
hair.
products anymore. So it was like I had it cut down the middle with a part, and I had one side going like this, and
Like
one
Bad
side
Bunny.
going like this, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out the way I planned. It was fire though, come on. Oh man, I always joke around if my brother could see this hairline, boy, he'd be an active shooter. You get so mad at this hairline, boy. Look at Daniels, your hairline is still there. It's struggling, but it's there. Sorry, man, everybody can't pull this off at my age, Sorry.
I'm not trying to keep it. I don't mind losing it. I look sexy bald.
Yeah, I remember when you went bald a couple of times and you get like 20. You was like, what are you doing? You got hair. What are you doing? Like Ulrich, he's been doing this bald thing his whole high school and everything, right?
It's senior year of high school.
Senior of high school.
What made you do it?
Girls, stop it. Don't even act like it wasn't.
Duh.
Yeah, duh, it was girls. They like bald-headed black.
No, but it wasn't. But
So
I mean,
he's like, I'm gonna be that.
because I didn't need to go bald at that point. But like 2 years after that, I definitely needed to go bald because my hairline. But when I did go bald at first, I still had a hairline.
I mean, we all got a hairline. It just depends where it's at.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know
well
what
said. Well said from Daniel's head.
That's
If you look like this, then you could probably see it. You got to look all the way
We all
down.
have a hairline. We just don't all know where it's
somewhere
at.
over there. It's somewhere
I
over
like
there.
that. That's
All right, man. Today's one of those days, man.
that could be what we on. We all have a hairline.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
yeah.
that we all don't know where it's at.
Yeah,
Remember that.
exactly.
Premium Black.
Daniel
News.
B, Premium Black News.
Premium Black News.
Premium Black News, y'all. No producer. We got guys here with full-time jobs trying to pull it together for 2 hours on a Tuesday, and you got about an hour and 30.
Hey, don't be greedy. You guys got plenty.
You got
Less is more. Less is more.
You got an hour and 30.
Less is more.
And you got an intense controversial topic.
You got us. How about that? You got us.
Yo, dude, go to my Facebook, please. Just remember, I posted something that refers to this topic right here. And I posted it on Facebook. It should be my latest post. It's a short. It's very quick and easy. No, down. No. My latest. The latest stuff I just put. What's that? You know, it kind of sucks. Oh, this is it. This is it. Boom. Listen to this, y'all.
Tap the thing. What's up?
Or math or anything like that, or you should not marry women who are on drugs. And when I say drugs, I don't mean heroin or meth or anything like that, or pot. I'm talking about like those prescription drugs, antidepressants that ones get at therapy. I don't think you should marry women in therapy either, unless it's like a short-term thing. If it's like a long-term thing, you have to figure out if like what that means when you try to solve problems with them. Because people in therapy, you have to understand that means they have to pay someone to tell them the truth because their friends won't tell them the truth. And if their friends won't tell them the truth, when you try to negotiate something with them, are you going to be able to tell them the truth? Or they're going to be able to, they're going to expect you to accommodate them like everybody else in their life except for their paid therapist accommodates them. And when they go to therapy, that person has an interest in keeping them coming back. So is that person in therapy is that therapist going to tell that person the truth?
That was so good. That was so good, y'all. This guy is basically saying, don't you even start dating a woman who's taking these pills and is on therapy for anything longer, for long-term stuff. And that was one of the things that I did, and we're talking about 15 years ago with my wife. When I insisted on therapy, I told her, you let them know from the very beginning you're not going to be there more than 6 months. You let them know this from the beginning, and you let them know that you're not going to take any antidepressants. You're not taking any pills. And it worked out well for her. And I mean, therapy was really great for her. I mean, amazing. When she realized whatever it is that they went through, we never even talked about it. I never ever asked what you got going on. I told her, listen, keep that between you unless you need to include me. If you need to include me, then go ahead. But, you know, she really benefited so much from it. But let me tell you, all these clients that I have that are on these pills, or what he referred to as drugs, I would never imagine myself dating those women. Or those men, not that I'm into men, but these men got a lot of problems too. And I think he's onto something when he says, like, don't even date them. Because, you know, they have the whole tray with the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And in that tray, there's like 7 different pills in there. And you're not the youngest guy here, Daniel B, but do you have like a daily pill thing? Like me, I'll speak for myself. I take a blood pressure pill and I take a water pill. That's every day. I take 2 pills. How many pills do you take a day?
I take 3, but it's like a multivitamin, a probiotic, and like a magnesium pill.
All right, and Ulrich, the youngest guy here, are you on any daily regimen?
Oh yeah, I do take a probiotic thing called like a line.
Every day?
Because yeah, I got crazy digestive issues, man.
Okay, cool. So these clients of mine, they would have those pill bottles full, and they would have all these scheduling things, and it's all like, and some of them were like some of my clients are pretty dope. Like, I mean, like dope, super dope people. But I think that one of the main things I notice about these clients is that they all are not in very healthy relationships, and a lot of their relationships are based on needing that selfishness of just like to me, these pills are pushing the idea that it's cool to be selfish because you have to think of yourself. And I agree with that sentiment. But I think they push it so much so that these people end up being alone, and the therapist keeps on getting money from them being there for years and years at a time. You guys got anything on that? Did you get anything from this man saying, don't date these women?
I would date them. It's all good. I even come with my own pill box, and I got one for you. It's all good.
Which pill box are you referring to? I don't know what that means.
You know,
it sounds like you're saying that you also are on some sort of antidepressant.
No, I'm just saying I'm willing to I'm willing to be with anyone that's willing, that's working on themselves. I'm good.
Okay, you see that? I get that.
So when I say pillbox, that means the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
Show you about pillbox.
No. I'm just saying. I'm on 2 pills every day too, but they're just not based on any psychosis or anything like that. It's based on me being morbidly obese and not retaining too much water, not wanting my ankles to be fat, and wanting to wear these cool ass shoes I got on right now. Boom. And also, I don't want my pressure up, so I check my pressure every once a week. I used to do it every day, but it just gets you so stressed out.
Your Apple Watch shows it to you all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It stresses me the hell out, seeing my blood pressure. But right now, it's pretty good. Unfortunately, it's because of this Band-Aid that I'm using as a pill. Yeah. So, would you date a woman on antidepressants?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It probably would. I do understand why that guy said it wouldn't be a good idea. But I would. I'm not really I can deal with the damaged chick. I'll fix her.
You can deal with a damaged chick, you'll fix her.
Yeah.
How's that working out for you so far?
Well, not good.
Right.
But my
I say I agree with him. Sorry to cut you off. I agree with this man, and I say start dumping these people that are on these pills. I bet you they'll get off of it.
But I've dated three damage. All 3 damage. I had a relationship with 3 damage girls. And they all lasted over a year. So at least, in the very least, there's somewhat,
When you say damage, you're just saying that they're on a regimen, like a pill set.
Something happened to them when they were young.
No. I'm talking about that.
Happened.
Trauma can happen to a woman, but is she on therapy? Is she in therapy and taking pills every
Okay,
day?
all 3 of them. All 3 of them were was in therapy. One of them was taking pills. All 3 of them were in therapy though.
Quick question.
And all 3 of them had some kind of childhood trauma.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I have a question. I'm going to circle back to what we spoke about last week. How did the date go?
That it didn't go. It didn't happen.
She
flaked on me. No, she didn't ghost on me.
She flaked on me.
She didn't ghost on me. She flaked on me.
That was the test. The first couple of those text messages, all those questions. It's just.
I know. First of all, I would have led with that story, Daniel. God.
But let me just say this. I think
gonna
we need to dump all these people on these pills, man. Just say, you know what? I'll be interested in you if you weren't on this. And if they hear it from enough men or he hears it from enough women, people might start saying maybe it's okay to not be so fucking comfortable. Like people want to be like they want to walk into like they just feel like, oh, if I go to the supermarket without my pill, I'm gonna have a panic attack because there's just way too many choices and too many colors and all that kind of shit. Like,
can I say one thing?
I don't know how we get here, man.
Elvis got shot because he smacked somebody's phone off their hand by mistake and it wasn't on their medication and they killed him.
Oh, they weren't on the medication. Right.
Because they listened to Elvis say
you
that.
You didn't need to use me in that analogy.
Oh.
But
no, with the whole phone thing and, not happening, the algorithm.
I know words are spells, but come on. Like, what are you doing over here? You're being very hateful.
Shot him with a water gun.
Yeah.
How about that?
But here's the thing. You see that? You see what you're saying? What we have to remember is how many years is this person on these pills? Like they're getting them so young, man. And they don't even, it's like I tell my kids, my kids, they see that we're in the cannabis world, they're curious about cannabis. And we're writing this book. It's a child book that we're writing and it's kind of going in a weird direction because I want them to be honest and I want them to be true. And like, these kids, they have desires to want to be like their parents and do as their parents do. And I'm telling them that you have to let your brain develop before you do any of these things. Because if you do not allow your brain to develop, then what's going to happen is you are going to feel, if you indulge at 12, 13, 14 years old, you're going to want to feel like that. And you're not going to want to not feel like that. Whereas for me, I didn't do anything till I was 37 years old. 37 years old is when I picked up, the cannabis. And I was like, let me try it. Fuck it, let me try it. I'm selling it. I might as well try it. So after about a year of selling it, I said, let me try it. And I liked it.
I have never tried anything. Just to let people know.
You've never tried anything. Daniel B is an anarchist those. You remember those anarchists that was putting those big X's on their hands, and they were against drugs, and they were like wild and crazy. Straight edge.
Yeah.
Daniel Straight Edge. Without the tattoos and without running up on people and snatching their beers out of their hands. Well, Daniel does. Here's the thing, though. You say you never tried anything, but you got tons of alcohol. You drink a lot of alcohol.
No, actually, I don't. Most of my stuff stays around. I don't really drink that much. Believe it
But
or
you
not.
do drink alcohol.
I do drink alcohol. I
Did
used to
you
drink
have
a
any?
lot more.
Did you have alcohol tonight?
Yes, I had the Corona.
Did you have alcohol earlier in the night?
No. I haven't had alcohol literally since the last time was last week with the beer again.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so you're not partying and you're not doing any of that
No,
kind of
I'm
because you know
partying, yeah.
respectfully you use the bathroom a lot.
I'm done.
You know, I'm just saying respectfully you use the bathroom a lot. You know, most people that use the bathroom the way you use the bathroom, they might look like they might be partying a little bit. I mean, I'm just saying that's from the outside. You know, maybe you know, you
I still not take a probiotic.
You know, all I'm saying is just that, you know, when you use the bathroom a lot, you start to wonder,
Nah, never here.
what's the party going? How's the party going on? You know, which is nothing wrong with that.
For me, it is. I'm good.
So Daniel has been straight edge. He's very, very against drugs, and what's interesting about that is that almost all of our cousins, which we have tons of them, are the same way. Like me, I didn't try anything. I never really even drank. I was in the bar business watching everybody get drunk, so I didn't drink.
I'm not partying.
Yeah, over it. You see, what's going on with this, educator over here?
They do party.
So what are you doing? You gonna go use the restroom?
Yeah, well, I wanted.
All right, let's end the show. We're gonna end the show. Come on. Come on. You had 6 beers, so I get 4 beers, whatever it is. I'm not trying to count.
All right.
I'm Big Elvis to Chef Rosenberg,
I'm Ulrich.
I'm Daniel Beat.
and tonight we were
I thought we were great.
Expressing
we're
ourselves.
doing a potluck show tonight. You are appreciated. I love you. I don't know about these guys here, but they do believe that people will kill their parents after what they've gone through with their parents. I don't know how they can believe any of that stuff.
Well, T Riddle, I know that. I love T Riddle. I know he would have stand me up. He wouldn't have flake on me.
All right, so we're gonna say goodbye. All
Have a
right.
good night.
Yeah, and stop dating these women on these pills. I mean, you can still have sex with them. You know, we're not crazy.
Yeah,
Come on.
you just can't love him.
Yeah, don't wife them though.